All right, so we're going to be learning how to solve percent word problems. Okay, the way we do this is by using what is called the percent proportion, okay? So your percent proportion, we got it right here. It's part over whole is equal to percent over 100. The word part, you'll often see that phrased as is. The word whole, you'll often see that phrased with the word of. So, I know we've said of talks about multiply, so this is kind of one of those situations where you have to really interpret the problem here. So, blank is something of some other number. So that's kind of how you'll see it. And so you'll know that the part always goes with the percent and the whole goes with the 100. Just kind of remember, part and percent, they both start with P. So they go together on top. Okay, so we've got 55% of some bananas is 11. So you remember how I said that is, right? You got is over of. Here's is, and the number that's with it is 11. So we've got is over of equals 2% over 100. And now we're going to fill that in. And we do our ratio table. Just the same. Is and of. Okay, leave your column for simplifying in the middle right here. And then your percent always goes over the 100. So you see the number with the percent sign in it or next to it? It's 55, so it's going to be 55. And it always goes over 100 because 55% is 55 out of 100. So is 11. 11 goes into is. And it says of the blank. We don't know what of is. And so now we've got to solve this. Normally, when we've been working with ratio tables, we've always been going from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Well, in this case, we're going to have to go from the right-hand side over to the left-hand side. You want to go from the column where you have both numbers in it to the column where you have the one number that you don't know. So we're going from 55 to 11. And so how do you go from 55 to 11? You have to divide by 5. So 55 divided by 5 is 11. So you have to do 100 divided by 5. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. Now you can also still do this with the cross multiply divide. Okay, so you can still do your ratio table and do the two that you know diagonal from each other, multiply those, and then divide by 55, and you're going to come out with the same thing. So 11 times 100 is 1100. When you divide that by 55, you're going to get out 20. So 55% of 20 bananas is 11. And so you would figure out that 11 out of 20 is the same thing as 55 out of 100. Okay, 4 trees is, okay, so let me try and do this in another color. So 4 trees is 2% of blank trees. So we will set up our ratio table. This is an is over of, and then we have our percent out of 100. So what was our percent? 2%. And then 100 is always there. So we have 2%, and our is, the word is was associated with the number 4. So 4 trees is. 4 trees is 2% of, we don't know how many. Yeah, here we go. We don't know how many trees. And so now we're going to figure that out. It's just like a regular ratio table here. You want to go from your completed column to your incomplete column. So how do you go from 2 to 4? Well, 2 times 2 is 4. So we have to do 100 times 2, and that's going to give you 200. So 4 trees is 2% of 200 trees. Okay, next one. 35% of the kids in class, so 35% of the kids in class, okay, of the kids in class are Texans fans. If there are 40 kids in the class, how many root for the Texans? So root for the Texans. So you have the part, okay, we're going to label this, identify it. Your part is the people who root for the Texans. So students who like the Texans. Your whole is the entire class. Okay, so we'll set up our ratio table. Part, whole, and then you have your percent over 100. So what's the percent? 35. So 35 goes right there. Your percent is always matched with that 100. Okay, always, always, always. Percent sign 100, percent sign 100. Always goes together. So part is the students who like the Texans. Do we know that? No, because it's asking us how many. So we have to put our question mark in there. Whole is the entire class. Do we know the entire class? Yes, there are 40. So we put that in the whole part. And now we got to figure out how can we go from 100 to 40, because you want to go from completed to incomplete. So 100 to 40. Can you go directly? No, but we can divide both 35 and 100. Let's divide both of those by 5. Sorry, that's Olivia back there. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. 35 divided by 5 is going to be 7. Can we go from 20 to 40? Yes. So we're going to go times 2. So times 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. So 14 students root for the Texans. 14 students. Okay, next one. 40% of the kids in class wear glasses. If 12 kids are wearing glasses, how many kids are in the class as a whole? So part, your part is the wearing glasses, because obviously not everyone's going to be wearing glasses. So your part is wearing glasses. Your whole is the entire class. And your percent is 40. So now we'll set up our ratio table. If you can identify the part, the whole, and the percent, even if they don't give you the number, at least identify what part of the problem it is, you're going to get these problems correct. So we've got part and whole. Part is wearing glasses. Do we know how many are wearing glasses? Yes, 12. So 12 kids is the part. The whole class. Do we know how many are in the whole class? No, because they're asking how many are in the class. So we don't know the whole group. And then our percent was 40, and your percent always goes over the 100. And so now we look. How do we go from 40 to 12? 40 to 12. Can we go? No. So we've got to divide here. And think smartly about what you're going to divide by. 140, they can divide by 2, but if you do 40 divided by 2, you're going to get 20. Can 20 go to 12? No. Think about 40, you can divide it by 8. Can you divide 100 by 8? No, not evenly. So that's not going to quite work. By 5, okay, if we do 40 divided by 5, we're going to get 8. Can we turn 8 into 12? Not easily. What else? 40, we can divide it by 20, right? Can we divide 100 by 20? Yes. So let's divide by 20. Another good option could have been by 10. If they both end in zeros, you can divide them by 10. So 40 divided by 20 is 2. 100 divided by 20 is 5. Now we can go from 2 to 12. So 2 times 6 is 12, so 5 times 6 is 30. So there are 30 kids in the class. Okay, there's 30 kids in the class. Next one. In the 6th grade, there are 700 students. 294 of those students are in the band. So there are 700 students. That's total. 294 are in the band. What percent of the students are in the band? So our part equals those in the band. Your whole is the 6th grade. Okay, and we're looking for a percent. So part, whole, percent out of 100. And we don't know our percent. Our part is who is in the band, so that's 294. Our whole group is the 700. That's the whole 6th grade. So completed column to incomplete column. So how do we go from 700 to 100? Well, divide by 7. So you have to do 294 divided by 7 as well. So let's go to the side. 294 divided by 7. 7 won't go into 2, but 7 goes into 29 4 times. 7 times 4 is 28. 9 minus 8 is 1, it's 14. 7 goes into 14 2 times. And so we are done. So we have found out that it is 42%. So 42% are in the band. Okay. All right. So we got our last one here. Okay, so it looks like we'll stop here at that problem and we'll come back to the camel problem when I see you in class. Talk to you later. Bye.